Well, good morning, everybody in the Nikken world. How are you? It's Reid Nelson and company here, talking to you from everywhere. And we're excited to be with you today on this virtual expo on a gorgeous November 9th morning in the year 2013. And on with me this morning are Mac McDonald and Pat Terry. Say hi, guys.
How you doing?
Chris Gullo from Sedona, Arizona.
Hello, everybody.
And Tony Scoma from beautiful Mapleton, Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm Reid Nelson from Oregon City, Oregon. First thing we wanted to, Dennis was going to be on with us today. Dennis, we're excusing Dennis today. He had a death in the family suddenly, and will not be on with us. And our thoughts and prayers are with Dennis and his family today for sure. So we miss Dennis. So anyway, guys, I will excuse you, and I will leave Pat and I here. And Mac, you get to stay because your picture is here. Okay, that's fine. That's okay. So Pat, good morning. It's great to be with you. Let's talk about Legacy 238, shall we?
Oh, I'm so excited, Reid, to be here and to share what our legacy is about. But I know it's been around the world already about Legacy 238. Could you share with everybody how that came about and what it is and why we're
absolutely. Absolutely, I will. You bet. You know, it was about a month and a half ago or so that I went down to Barnes & Noble bookstore. I was looking for a specific book, and they didn't have the book I was looking for, so I ordered that book. But on a table over to one side, there was another book, and it just kind of caught my eye. It was white, and it was a really, I don't know, just caught my eye. It was a attention getter. And so I went over and looked at it, and I thought, oh my goodness, look at this. And the forward of the book was written by the guy who wrote the book, Who Moved My Cheese? And of course, I loved that book. I thought it was actually a game-changing book for a lot of people. It was really, really good. Well, this book was called Our Iceberg is Melting. I thought to myself, well, that has to do with global warming or something. And I really didn't want to read a political book. But then I read that forward, and you know what? It wasn't about that at all. It was about change and total change in a community and how that all comes about. So I bought the book. And I read the book, and I got so enthralled with the simpleness and the ideas in this book, it just something threw a switch inside my head. And I had to tell some people, so I called Dennis, and I called Tony, I called you guys, I called Chris. I said, we got to get together right now. And of course, I wasn't very, we didn't give you a lot of notice on that. A few days notice, and we all met in the Masuda room, actually, down in Nikken World headquarters, and had a conversation about the future and about change and about this little book and some of the things it had to say. And during that conversation, several things came up. And one of them was the word legacy. And because I know that, at the recent convention, we were asked to talk about legacy. We had Josh up on the stage with us and everything, because it's about that. But let me read you a couple of definitions about legacy, if I might. First definition, law, a gift of property, especially personal property, as money, by will, a bequest. Number two, anything handed down from the past, as from an ancestor or predecessor. Well, now, that's interesting, because that's exactly what we intend to do. We intend to build a legacy in Nikken and leave it to our families, right? And leave it to people that are still here when we're not. That's what a legacy is all about. And so, and then the 238. Now I know that we've had a lot of fun with this one. You know, we have our hats. We got the hat, right? And we say legacy, and it says 238 right across there, right? And so that's created a lot of buzz around the Nikken world, right? At the convention and all that. And so, and we've had all types of people texting and emailing us going, what's that all about? What's that all about? And, or is it this? Or is it that? I know Josh, my son, has been all over it talking about what is that? He's taken wild guesses, a lot of guesses. And he was probably the most white hot of anybody out there of all the guesses. But we've heard things about angel numbers, right? And when you, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It got emailed me, the number 238. It's about energy, life purpose, empowering growth, expansion, legacy, hope. And they're saying it's about that, isn't it? And we were actually laughing because we said this really is goes right along with us about the energy of what we're doing with 238, but it's not the right answer.
That's not it. And then we had the guess, hey, it's 238 of the book, Six Figures in 6 Months. And that's a great page, by the way. If you don't know what that says, it talks about legacy, actually. And so it's a really, really a great page, but that's not it either. And so we've heard biblical pages. We've heard lots of things. Had a lot of fun with this. But let's talk about what 238 really is from right now. So everybody knows, we get all that out of the way. Now, there are 2 versions of this book, and that's why Josh was so white hot with this. And it's from this book, Launching a Leadership Revolution. Yep, Mastering the 5 Levels of Influence. Now, if you have the other book, which Josh had, there's only 237 pages in it. There isn't 238. And so, when on page 238 of this book, Mastering the 5 Levels of Influence, here's what it says. A level 5 leader can be identified by the magnitude of the following he or she leaves behind. By the way, I'm going to start up here, Bob. Results will come through the endurance and succession of the vision. Now we're talking about legacy again. The vision and the leader are intertwined. A level 5 leader can be identified by the magnitude of the following he or she leaves behind. The size of the vision, its enduring legacy, and the successful continuation in the hands of other leaders is the fruit of a level 5 leader's efforts. Whereas level 1 leaders are only as good as what they learn, level 2 leaders are only as good as their personal performance, level 3 leaders are only as good as the performance of their team, level 4 leaders are only as good as the performance of their leaders, level 5 leaders are only as good as the enduring quality and succession of their vision. And so as we get, I get goosebumps just reading that thing. I think it's so cool. So there you go, Josh. Now you can relax. So, but as we read that together, it became very clear to us that what I thought about and wanted to share with some other people, and it was in this little book we call Our Iceberg is Melting, which we'll be discussing some in. But on number 4, which Pat, you're going to talk about a little bit, it talks about make sure as many others as possible understand and accept the vision and strategy, communicate for understanding and buy-in. Well, I needed to get somebody who's going to agree with me on this crazy wild thought that I had. And the thought goes like this. We're going to change the world. Not only Nikken's world, but the world, the earth, the thing we live on, is going to be changed in the next 36 months. Okay, 36 months. And the vision goes like this. We're going to do $1 billion in volume in the 3 major market units in the world, which are number 1, the North American unit, number 2, the European unit, and number 3, the Mexico, Central, South American unit. We're going to do that in 36 months. And on the 3rd year, we will do $1 billion. And in that year 4, a minimum of $1 billion in volume every single year in those market units will be done. Now, I get excited about that because imagine the change in people's lives when this occurs, and it will occur. The decision's made. That's what I get excited about the most. This decision, I made the decision. Yvonne and I talked about this. We made the decision, and then I shared that decision with you. You guys have now made that decision, and now we're going to go out to the world with that decision. It's not about how. We don't care how you do it. You know, it doesn't matter about how. This is just a decision. And so we're very excited about this. And so imagine how the world will change financially, physically, spiritually, families, everything is changing now as we put this out. And so Legacy 238 is the vision. It's kind of the call signal, if you will, to $1 billion in 3 different market units. So $3 billion over the next 36 months and changing people's lives in a huge, huge way all over the world with it. So, Pat, comments on that?
Well, I'm excited. We were so excited to have about, 48 hours notice to fly down. But when we saw what it is, this is what we've been waiting for. We know that Nikken is a legacy company. We know the power of the company, but what we needed is the power of the field, a big vision, something that was measurable, something that was urgent, and a plan of action. So we're going to share with you a plan of action. It will be the intention. You all are part of the mechanism. Like you said, this is not the how-to. It's in motion. The movement's going. And a tiny spark, which is what we've started, creates a big fire. So I just want to ask, how did you feel when the team came together, and how have you felt seeing the energy already that's been created just because the decision was there and nobody knew what it was?
Well, I feel fantastic. Yvonne and I have talked about this. It's already changed. I mean, it's in motion. Making a decision puts all things in motion. Providence moves too. We've heard that, in our past. And the whole part of the launching leadership revolution is creating leaders everywhere, all over the world with this whole thought process. Level 5 leaders creating level 4, 3s, 2s, 1s, everybody in motion together for a big dream, a big cause, and a big vision. This is a movement. This isn't a how-to. This is a movement forward, and the decision is made, and we simply want you to join us in this movement. So it's awesome. So anything else before we move on to the movie?
You should get the energy out.
All right, excellent. Well, so Dave, let's show everybody the little movie we have, okay?
If you've learned a lot about leadership and making a movement, then let's watch a movement happen start to finish in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons. First, of course, a leader needs the guts to stand alone and look ridiculous. But what he's doing is so simple, it's almost instructional. This is key. You must be easy to follow. Now here comes the first follower with a crucial role. He publicly shows everyone else how to follow. Notice how the leader embraces him as an equal. So it's not about the leader anymore, it's about them, plural. Notice how he's calling to his friends to join in. So it takes guts to be a first follower. You stand out and you brave ridicule yourself. Being a first follower is an underappreciated form of leadership. The first follower transforms a lone nut into a leader. If the leader is the flint, the first follower is the spark that really makes the fire. Now here's the second follower. This is a turning point. It's proof the first has done well. Now it's not a lone nut and it's not 2 nuts. 3 is a crowd and a crowd is news. A movement must be public. Make sure outsiders see more than just the leader. Everyone needs to see the followers because new followers emulate followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, then 3 more immediately. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point, and now we have a movement. As more people jump in, it's no longer risky. If they were on the fence before, there's no reason not to join in now. They won't stand out, they won't be ridiculed, and they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry. And over the next minute you'll see the rest who prefer to stay part of the crowd, because eventually they'd be ridiculed for not joining. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how a movement is made. So let's recap what we've learned. If you are a version of the shirtless dancing guy, all alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals, making everything clearly about the movement, not you. Be public, be easy to follow. But the biggest lesson here, did you catch it? Leadership is overglorified. Yes, it started with the shirtless guy, and he'll get all the credit, but you saw what really happened. It was the first follower that transformed a lone nut into a leader. There's no movement without the first follower. See, we're told that we all need to be leaders, but that would be really ineffective. The best way to make a movement, if you really care, is to courageously follow and show others how to follow. When you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first person to stand up and join in.
Hi, this is Derek Sivers from Sivers.org,
Well,
and this is Why You Need to Fail. I'm often invited to speak at conferences full of famous, successful people. They're all leaders of some sort. People look up to them. They're acclaimed and accomplished. They have a great reputation. Their struggling years of failure are behind.
Fly down on a spontaneous moment to learn about Legacy 238 and be a part of it. And I tell you, from that moment, I can honestly say Mac and I are averaging maybe 2 hours of sleep a night because my excitement level is through the roof. For those of you that are new, and for those of you that have been with Nikken for a while, we are all going to be part of changing the world and creating this legacy. And I'm so excited because Nikken is a legacy company. It's the only total wellness company in the world. It impacts people globally. We're in nearly 40 countries, and we work on prevention, restorative, financial. It's the most amazing company I've seen, and it's time to take it to a level that really will change the world. So with that, I'm excited, and that's why I'm excited about the legacy. I'm excited because we have a perfect storm of opportunity, and I'll go through that in a minute. But what I'm most excited at this moment is the team that's formed and the positive, what you just saw in that video, the positive of powerful people with a great vision. And the reason I'm excited about that is because I've been here before. I want to share a quick story about the vision of a man that created a vision of a team that created a vision of a big vision. I was involved, I'm a nurse by trade. I was involved in the healthcare system, and I was with a great hospital on an island, and we had a visionary leader. And so we had the best hospital in a geographical region, but we weren't impacting the world. And the visionary, the leader, decided that he was, within a year, he was going to model change, and it would ripple effect across the globe. And then we had people that said no. And so he elicited my help and someone else's help to create that change. We created excitement, we created power, we created teams, we rippled the effect, we put it within the power of the people. And within a short time, the energy swelled through the hospital, it swelled through the United States, it then swelled through the world, and it actually went global on 3 continents. And it became the world leader in less than a year. So we're going to do that because Nikken's bigger. I left my nursing career for Nikken because it's bigger than that. And I'm going to share with you why I'm excited about this is because of the timing. And we've got to create urgency for what we have, because right now is the first time in history that people are awake. They're truly awake. They're looking at wanting better finances. They're wanting better health. We have moved into an information age business, and people are wanting a better model of business. You've got career people, business owners, jobbers, and families looking to modernize their lives and have a bigger purpose and be involved in something. And we have 175,000 people per week in North America and 500,000 people globally joining network marketing companies. We need them joining ours because it creates no limits. We have the only company that creates synergistic wellness. We're the whole package. We're a legacy. We're huge, but we want to go bigger and better. We've got 80% of the population at this present time are not happy with the job they have. They're fighting to keep a job they don't like. Families are more in tune to wanting quality of life. People are looking at shrinking pay, so they're wanting to branch out into entrepreneurialism. They want freedom. And what's interesting is young people today are fighting for jobs they don't even want. We've got a healthcare that's overburdened. We've got people that are being reactive in their health instead of proactive, and we're a proactive company. And then we've got companies out there springing up in wellness that aren't even wellness in my mind, because they're a 1-product company or a 2-product company, and that is not wellness. So my urgency is to set up an urgency that we change. The iceberg of the hospital was people that didn't want to change because they knew they had the best and they were comfortable. Well, our iceberg is we need to modernize to do it faster. We know what we have our hands on. We know there's people out there looking for what we have. If we've got that many people joining network marketing, we want them to join a company that's actually making change. I look at it, if I'm not out there talking to people, and if I'm not teaching leaders to teach leaders and bring people on, we're watching people jump from job to job and remain unhappy. We're watching people jump into network marketing companies that, quote, claim to be wellness, and they're a one-legged animal, and 90% of them are going to fail. I want people involved in a company that has the synergistic full picture, the 5 pillars of health, the synergistic health, and a vision as big as this. So I know that as we create our teams that create teams, we need to get everybody involved. We need to be urgent about it. If you've not, I recommend at this point in time, you don't turn on the TV anymore, but if you happen to accidentally turn on the TV, you see that people are wanting change. We are going the wrong direction in the globe. And all of us that have been involved in Nikken know the better direction. All of us, our health is better. We're in the preventative mode. We're in the restorative mode. But those of us that have learned how to add a better profit stream, this business into our life, we have bigger pillars with our family. More income means bigger legacy. So I want to do a quote from the book. Let me pull it up here. It's Launching the Leadership Revolution. That's what we're doing. We're launching a revolution, a mission to move past where we are of being the best to take it to higher levels. But what I wanted to read from it is the iceberg that we're looking at to move from is staying with the standard methods of operation. Entrenched habits, here's the quote, entrenched habits. What every leader must take to avoid is by leading by habit, never learning anything new and just doing things in the manner they've always done before. There's one other part of that here, and where is it? It says, you should never say at any time, this is how we've always done it. So we're going to go out, we're going to elicit your help, and we're going to make this big, and I'm going to pass it off to Chris Gullo, and he's going to share rule 2 and 3, I guess. Are you there, Chris? You want to turn on your?
Yes,
I'm
I am.
excited.
Can you hear me?
Let me turn mine off.
I've turned mine on, so.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you see
A
me?
little more volume?
I'm sorry?
Can you speak with a little more volume?
Yes, I can. I can speak with a lot of volume. Let's see if my volume should be high. I'm going to raise my volume just to make sure.
Okay, you're good now. Just project.
So let me get this back up and make sure we're all where we need to be. And I'm really excited too. First of all, when Reid called me up and talked to me about this, I'm all about team. Together, each achieves more. And anytime you pull together a team, you're always going to be able to do more than without it, because as a team, everybody surrounds each other and everybody supports each other. And what I'm going to be talking about today is how to develop that, because what Reid was saying, that we already made that decision. I'm already in motion on this deal. I've contacted, and this is what I would challenge everybody to do, would be to contact their key leaders in their organizations and to discuss this. The same discussion that we as a group had when we were in Irvine, California. And that is who we are, what legacy there is, and what that really means to everybody. And again, I will stress again, we're not talking about how to do this. Across the world, different people do things in different ways, and it doesn't really matter. If you go back to humans being more and the intention mechanism, it says intention is everything. And mechanism is great if you have the right intention. So you can have the greatest mechanism in the world. But if your intention is not 100%, it can't be 98%, but 100%, it doesn't really matter. So we're not about how, we're really not about why, because everybody has their own reasons why they do this. What we're really focused on is humans doing more to become more. It's a mindset of action, a cause, it's a movement. I want to talk about the legacy for a second. Apple, let's talk about Apple. Everybody heard this analogy, but I'm going to carry it a little further, okay? Apple 14 years ago had its struggles. Every company in the world has its struggles. There's always ups and downs in every company, every organization. But you know what? The bottom line is, what's your legacy? As Pat was saying, we've been around for almost 40 years. We're heading toward 40 countries. We have our legacy. But I believe that there's different kinds of legacies in different companies. Apple came out 14 years ago, 10 years ago, with the iPhone. Then they had the iPad. And what happened is the whole world engulfed that. And now if you look at the commercials, you don't talk about, well, here's our new iPhone. They talk about connection of families. They talk about all kinds of things that really about community and how that's brought the world together with ease that anyone can use. And I will do an analogy of what we have. If you, as they say, if you walk, sit, sleep, drink, we have technologies that can help people in a total way, not in a partial way. So I just want to say this, and there is different levels of legacy. If you look at colleges, I can name 3 or 4 colleges to everybody and they go, well, I don't think I've ever heard that college. But if I say Notre Dame, Stanford, Harvard, Everybody knows those universities. Why? Because they have legacy. All right. What we want to do is build that same legacy. We want people to know who we are all over the world. If you mention the name Nikken, wellness is attached to it. We were the first to talk about wellness before anybody else talked about it. And so we're very excited about this movement that we're talking about. So let me tell you what I did. All right, and I know that everybody on this team is doing it, but I have reached out to all my leaders in my organizations. I'm a Royal Diamond, so I talked to my Royal Diamonds and Diamonds and some Platinums. And I talked about what we were all about, what we're doing. It's a movement. It's not an organization. It's just a feeling of going out there and doing more. Humans doing more to become more. And that's what we're all about. And you know what? It doesn't really matter. Some people go, well, I just want to help people. Great. Then let's help a lot of people. You know, freedom. We can be free from financial woes and also health woes. We can get people being back with their families again and having fun. There's this deal about fun that I think is missing in the world today. We act like we're having fun, but there is a difference, okay? So some people go, well, golly, you know, Reid was talking about billions. How are you going to do that? How are you going to do 3 billion in three different countries, $1 billion each? Well, let me give you a couple of examples here. So let's say that we took every active consultant in the world, and I'm going to stress the word active, all right? And let's say we talked to them, we built these teams, and we said, look, what we want to do is go out there and spread the word for whatever your reason is, financially, helping a lot of people, for whatever those reasons are. We're going to spread this information all over the world because we have something people need to know about, not wish they could have. It's like a luxury. It's not a luxury. We have impacted people all over the world, changed their lives through our technologies. So let's say we took all the active consultants in the world and we said, okay, let's just go find one more person that would work with us as a business and really do this the right way and encourage them and help them and really blow this up. We would be on our way to doubling where we are today. All right, well, let's take that one more step. Let's say now we got that new person, and let's say all active distributors, including new people, go out and get one more person, just one more, and going out and spreading the words and doing it for the right reasons and really focusing on this. We will be on our way to quadrupling where we are today. The question then becomes, how quickly could we really do that? How quickly? Well, you know, I was asking some of my leaders, I said, if we really focused, and I even drew another analogy, what if I was doing this? What if I paid you? What if I paid you €1,000 or $1,000 per person you talk to? How many people would you talk to next week? If you use these as points and kind of put it in the bank as if it was real money, I promise you, you would surpass that in a matter of a short time. We can do this. 3 billion in 3 continents, is it possible? I just showed you a way that within a matter of months, we could quadruple where we are. We can do this. It's all a mindset of where we're going and what we're doing. So this is the challenge at everybody. I would challenge everybody to go out, and if you're a platinum, go talk to your golds and silvers. If you're a silver, go talk to the people that you just got involved and talk to them and get them excited and tell them our future, where it is. It is brighter than it's ever been. We can do this, and we can do this together, all right? But I would challenge you, create your own team. Create your vision of where we're heading and why we're doing it. Create your 90-day, your 3-month and 6-month plans. Put in the 21 clubs, impact the Paragons. We can do this together, but the bottom line, when you do this, you have to commit. It's about doing, humans doing more to become more. It's about the movement. It's about the action. It's about the cause. You have your why. You can have multitude of hows. If you have the intent, anyone and everyone can do it. It doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter about anything. We can be who Apple, Stanford, Harvard, Notre Dame. We can be a household name. And that's where our objective is. We want to impact the world. We have billions of people in our markets. We haven't even touched the market yet. And we are already a legacy company. Just imagine what we can do if we really get beyond ourselves, get to the bigger vision and impact the world. We can change this world. We can change how health is created and helped in this world. We can do this together, but it has to be together. So I challenge everybody to do this. Our future is brighter than it's ever have been. And I'm so excited to be a part of this team. I challenge you to go out and create your own teams. Now, Pat, I'm going to turn it back over to you, and I believe you're going to be talking about how to make this all happen. Back to you.
Thank you, Chris. That was exciting. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. I recommend everybody get this book, Our Iceberg is Melting, so you understand the 8 steps that we're all talking about here today. Chris, you did a great job doing 2 and 3. I'm going to talk about step 4, which is make it happen, and basically getting the buy-in that you yourself are going to step up and do this, and then how you're going to create your teams to do this. We need to all get that message out. As Chris said and laid out perfectly, connect with your leaders, have your leaders connect with their leaders. We need 100% intention, and the mechanisms will appear. That's the great thing about the energy that we're creating, and the film that you saw on the hill is that once you get in motion, ideas will stem and people will join us. Another quote from some of the books that we're going through is vision creates energy, and that's what we're doing today. Is we've got the vision, we're going to create the energy bigger than we've ever seen it. Each person needs to see how their own gifts and their own abilities will contribute to make this huge vision a special legacy. So we need to duplicate our vision, duplicate our communication, and help people see the future that we're going to create in the next 36 months. I've done it before. I've watched naysayers in my other business say, oh, we don't need to change. And then we watched the change happen, and the excitement and the energy was coming from everyone, So what I encourage you to do is people will do a lot more when they understand how it fits into the bigger picture. I'd even encourage you to get your families on board. If they've not been humans being more, have them do dream boards. Have the kids come up with the ideas. Have kids get rewards for the parts of the family that are creating this legacy company. We know that infection spreads, and we want that to spread as rapidly as possible. Let me just talk about vision, the actual visual, keeping things out in front of you, how important that is. And so we're going to create a bit of a slogan here. Here's a quote: one doesn't always get what one wants. One doesn't always get what one deserves, but they do generally get what they picture. So you know what? We're picturing this a done deal already. And in 36 months, we're going to be living it, and we're going to carry that on. So to carry out the vision, I want you all know how to do this. It's teach 3 to reach 3. Rick did a wonderful job going around the country. All of the new people coming in are learning that. But what I want you to also to look at is a slogan, and let's see if I can hold this up here, that will show you what it is to keep it out there. Is what are we doing? If you think of just, we're doing ABC, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, you and me. ABC is as how we do it with the ABCs. 1, 2, 3 is prospect, recruit, activate. 3, 3, 3 is 3 billion, 3 markets in 3 years. You and me, we're going to create this team. How do we do it? We're doing teach 3 to reach 3. So that's our slogan. We need to get out there. We need to share it with people. And I wanted to share you one other thing on an acronym for legacy. We are creating a legacy, but these are the people that we're actually looking for. We're looking for people that want lifestyle, to be empowered, to be global impact, have a positive attitude, a can-do attitude. Nothing gets in the way of us achieving this mission. And the why is, why not live life unleashed? We need to be living free. We need to be looking for people that want to be part of the legacy. So start chanting legacy and start bringing the ABC, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, you and me, and teach 3 to reach 3, and we're going to take it to the top. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Mac, and Mac is going to show us how to make it happen by empowering others.
Oh, thank you very much, Pat. I really appreciate that. And I enjoyed the dance, and I hope other people perhaps got up and did a little dance. I really like this because we got such great PowerPoints, we're taking the easy way out on this to eliminate confusion and things. But to start off with is, why am I excited? Why am I excited to be part of this team? Why am I excited to be actually part of Nikken and having it as the rest of our life? Pat and I was a colonel in the Air Force, and you heard that Pat was a nurse and had great careers. But as we were traveling around the world, we enjoyed that sort of a lifestyle, and we wanted to continue that on. So we knew we were going to have to do something when my career came to an end, and so we started looking. And what we were looking at is a way to create freedom and have fun and do the traveling that we always liked. But when we started to look, we just didn't see people having the freedom that they really would enjoy. We knew that we didn't want to work for somebody again because that was so limiting. So we were looking to be an entrepreneur. However, the military skills, being problem solvers and a leader, they didn't give us the skills to really start a business and create a business. Having gone through a career of 30 years, I didn't want to go back to school and start all over again. So we were really searching for something. We thought we had our life put in perspective with investments in real estate. However, in 1989, we suffered a devastating blow when the Hawaiian real estate market dropped out, and we lost millions of dollars in houses and our entire retirement. Well, that created a problem for us as we did get to the point where I was retiring, and knowing that military people really don't necessarily retire, they transition to something else. So we were looking at what we were going to transition to. Then, of course, Pat's health collapsed, and we started to look around, well, what do we do there? And we ran across, because a friend shared us about Nikken and the energy that Nikken has in the product and a total wellness program. And I decided that I needed to get that for Pat. And when we put it in the house, all the wellness technologies based on natural energies, Pat's health came right back up. And it took several months to years for it to get totally back up. But what Pat saw with this was an opportunity to just empower people to take charge of their own life from the physical side. But she also saw that this would be an ideal way to rebuild our finances. We knew we didn't have another 30 years to create the finances that we needed to have for retirement. And this was a perfect opportunity for us just to go out and share Nikken, empower other people to connect to the company, get their wellness on track, and find other people who wanted to improve their finances too. And that's what this is all about. We wanted a career. We didn't want another job. Too many people go into network marketing. We didn't realize that is exactly what we were getting into. However, they go from network marketing company to network marketing company. That's just going from job to job. We wanted to be with a company, a legacy company. And when we met Mr. Masuda in Japan back in 1997, it was amazing on what happened and what we saw in the future. A legacy company. Mr. Masuda had a vision, and he built a company around that vision. We then looked at that as a way to get ourselves out of the bind that we were in. So when we got started with Nikken, we were hungry. We had a mission. We had to get things going. We had to dig ourselves out. So, leaders, when they're hungry, they take action and they get things done. And they help teach other people to do the same thing. We knew we had to be honeable. We had to learn. We had to take the ego out of it, and we had to get back to learn what network marketing was and where we were going and how we would do that. But we also wanted to keep our honor. We wanted to keep our integrity. And so that was another thing. So that's what leaders do. They have to be hungry. If you're not hungry, you're not achieving your full potential. So we were hungry. We also knew that we need to go back and learn. And learning is just an attitude. So that we needed to get out there and do that. I did find a quote that I liked, and I'll read it to you. You don't know what you don't know. And we all have heard that before. Additionally, what you don't know, we gradually forget. Or what we do know, we gradually forget. So if we don't know what we don't know, and we forget about what we do know, it would probably be a good idea to continue learning, so at least we will know something. So when a leader starts, they need to start to be teachable. They need to let their potential be limitless. But even when you go into learning, you need to learn to lead and not just learn knowledge. You have to lead, it has to lead to action. So what do we do when the iceberg's melting and we need to remove the obstacles that are in front of us? And we need to move the barriers that we have out there all the time. And there's really only two types of barriers that we're facing all the time. It's the internal ones that we have control of. And then there's external ones that we don't necessarily have control of. So which ones should we focus on? Well, absolutely, we need to focus on the ones that we have control on. And that is our own little voices that are in our own head. It's that stinking thinking that's out there. And too many of us are out there doing things and coming up with limiting thoughts. So what is a limiting thought? I like this little example here is that many people are on the left side of the page. And on the left side, they look at, I can't do this, or we can't do that. It's not possible. That's a problem state. We need to have the leaders be on the right side of the page, think positive, can. That's a resource state. And there's a whole bunch of things that go with that resource state. It's anticipate the future with confidence. View problems as something that can and will be solved. Believes life is good while knowing it can also be difficult. See challenges and things that can be managed. Outcomes. See possibilities everywhere. Expect to thrive and win the game of life. Feel like a player in the game of life. Those are the things where we need to go, and we need to stop people who are on the other side of the page. They anticipate the future with dread. They view problems as something that will not be solved. Believe life is hard and good moments are the exception. See challenges as unmanageable and overwhelming. See problems everywhere. Endures life and expects to just survive in the game of life. That's not where we're at with this legacy movement. We want people to get on the right side of the page, understand that we will, and Reid has laid out the vision. I think the vision is very powerful, and it's something that we all need to get behind. We're behind it. We're going to encourage our team to get behind it, and we're going to make it happen. So I think I'm excited, and I know that the rest of the people on the team are excited. So I think is what I'll do is turn it back over to Tony. Tony, let's bring you on, and let's hear from you. Good to see you, Tony.
Thank you, Mac. I am excited, guys. It's a wonderful thing to be part of this great movement, this shift that we're now seeing. I can't tell you, there's very few things better in life than to be working with people who are smart, dedicated, and visionary, and that I love and respect. And I love and respect the people that you're seeing and hearing today. And we miss Dennis, but he's one of them, and of course a master teacher, and we miss him. But I got to tell you that this is something that is not just for the elite in Nikken. This is not just the veteran consultant. We're inviting everyone to be part of this great movement, to be extraordinary. We want you to be extraordinary, to be part of this great goal that we're setting. I mean, it's significant. I've been part of seeing a wave of activity in Nikken. I've been around 22 years, and to see this going on now, we're just as excited. I can't describe to you, I literally cannot put into words how I felt on the stage of Yokohama when we were in Yokohama, Japan in 2005. I had the privilege and honor of representing North America as the consultant of the year at that time to speak to thousands of my Nikken peers from all around the world. You can just imagine how it was just an unbelievable, wonderful experience. But you know, when I started my Nikken business, I did not have any clue that that was ever going to happen. I could only dream, and I don't even think I could have dreamed it. It was just something I did not know. But I can tell you something. I got started in October, and I built my business to the silver level by the end of January. Didn't have a job, didn't have contacts in Spokane, didn't have anything. So when I got to silver, I attended a big event in Portland, Oregon in February of 1992, and Reid Nelson put me on stage to say a few words about how it felt to be a brand new silver. That was a very short-term win for me. Reaching that level of silver was significant, and probably the thing that happened in Yokohama, Japan would never have happened if I didn't have that short-term win in Portland, Oregon, and being up on stage and just being acknowledged as being a brand new silver. because it was many years between the two, but it has to start somewhere, doesn't it? You know, what we think, what we know is very, very important as we get started on this this journey here is that we have to have unambiguous short-term wins for everyone. That means that we have to start recognizing all things that are going to be happening. We're talking about more recognition, better recognition for all kinds of things that are both quantitative, new ranks, doing the 21 club, you know, making a certain amount of a check, whatever it is that you want to recognize, you can do that. But I'll tell you right now, it's important that you go to humans being more. When people increase their knowledge and confidence and get short and go to and perhaps increase their PEPs in their RI training, whatever it is that they're doing, recognize it in your people, recognize it in yourself. I'll tell you right now, when we have these unambiguous, which means that they're obvious, that things that we can see, that we can measure, that are happening, you know, positive movement forward, it creates greater vision and hope in the existing leaders because they can see it reflected in the eyes of their organization. Now, the people who are actually having the short-term wins, they're creating confidence and experience to move forward. They can actually see, you know, the next horizon, which is important. And even more significant, perhaps, is that the new people who are up and coming, yet not even identified as leaders, and those who have yet to be found are going to be touched by the ongoing movement of recognition and success that the individuals who make up the organization, who make up this movement, are going to have. So this is not to wait. It's just not going to say nothing for the next 3 years and get to $3 billion. That's not going to happen. You know, what's going to happen is that every single week we have to be acknowledging people for what they're doing, what they're accomplishing, and the successes and excitement that they're feeling and experiencing. Now, I just want to point out that, you know, we can do better things, but short-term wins affect individuals as well as organizations. So we need to measure our success. And I think what's really significant, what was announced at our leadership in North America in Las Vegas just a couple of weeks ago, is that in the midst of this 3-year goal that we have to hit 3 markets, $3 billion, $1 billion in each market, there is going to be a worldwide celebration of Nikken's 40th anniversary in Miami, Florida, probably late February, early March of 2015. That's only 16 months away. That being the case, what are you going to accomplish next week, next month, on your way to being recognized at the 40th anniversary celebration, on your way to being part of this legacy that we're going to create in these individual markets? You know, that's a question that you have to ask yourself. What is it that drives you? What do you want to do and see just 16 months away? And again, that's more of a longer term goal. What are the daily activities that you're going to do and accomplish? You know, I used to do something so insignificant, it seemed, but that had such an impact on my business, where I made sure that I got 2 people who wanted to talk to me about Nikken every day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. That's all I did. And I tell you, every time I did that, I signed new business builders up. And when you sign enough of them up, some of them catch the vision. And of course, if you recognize their short-term wins, we're more likely to see this thing happening. And then a bunch of short-term wins on an individual basis will see the organization lurch forward. More sales, more income. You know, small incomes can become large incomes if we recognize that we're increasing month to month. Now, I want to talk about one thing. You know, Rome was not built in a day, they say. And it's true. This is not going to happen overnight. It's going to be a 3-year goal. But there was a day when the first stone was placed in the ground on the path to a great empire. And I'm telling you right now, this is the day for us. Thank you. And I turn it over back to Mac.
Thank you very much, Tony. I can tell you're excited. You had your mustache twitch, and that was very, very good. Yeah, and I'm going to just finish it up here with, you know, just get started, don't quit, and keep things moving. I think Reid has set the vision very well. The vision is what we hunger for, and that's the 3 billion in 3 marketplaces within 3 years. That's the why. The goal, that's set in stone. So let's get it done, what we're going to do. Actually, I think the vision is total freedom when you really get down to it. And the goal can be that 3 billion, 3 markets in 3 years. The plan, that's where we are right now. It's the how. And that's what we need to do, set up our teams, get the people that we want to bring on with us and let them find their people. And, it's sort of like if we just went back to John F. Kennedy. He had a vision. He said, I'm going to the moon. Let's go to the moon. So that was one person's idea. He assembled a team of believers who inspired others. They created a goal to launch a rocket towards the moon. They devised a plan. Well, first they had to build the rocket. But then they didn't even know how they were going to get there other than to shoot it at the moon. So were they on target while they were going towards the moon? No, they were off target about 80% of the time. And what they had to do is make minor corrections, be flexible, and that's the plan. It's built in sand, let it be movable, and we change so that we can get to the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is that freedom for everyone. It's a possibility. The what is the 3 billion, 3 markets, 3 years. We got a finite time that we're going to get it done. We need to start out right now. Because, when you realize things in life, we need to launch hard. Did you know that 20 to 40% of all annual retail and e-commerce sales are done in the last 45 days of the year? Well, we're getting down to that point, so it's time to start. And there's more points scored in the final 2 minutes of each half in the NFL than throughout the entire game. So, we have a mission in front of us. We have a legacy. Mr. Masuda started a legacy. We want to continue that legacy. We want to start now. We want to never quit. We want to make sure that we launch hard. We continue to run for 36 straight months, and we are going to see it happen. So there's a poem in the book, and I won't read the poem. I will encourage you to get out there, get the book, and start going through it. There are so many great quotes in this book on how to develop your own leadership skills, how to go up the stair steps of leadership, and what Reid has started here, and he's pulled together a select few on a team who we are now going to add more to that team. We are excited. Reid, thank you for including us. We want to run with you. Nikken is the only total vehicle for total wellness. There's no other company like that. The legacy is sound, and we need to take it to the next level where we really should be. So Reid, I'm going to turn it back over to you so you can have some wrap up and final thoughts.
Okay, Mac, thank you so much, and thank you guys. It's been a great morning. As we think about this, we just came out of a leadership conference in Las Vegas, and the whole theme was revolution. Dennis brought that up to us when we were down in Irvine, and the thought of revolution. We're starting a revolution. It's pretty simple. And so as we look at this and think about what's been said today, we really encourage you to get this little book, Our Iceberg is Melting. Read it. Get it into your body, into your mind, into your soul. It has some great stuff in there because it's all about change and changing your mind and making decisions. Here's a group of people, penguins on an iceberg, totally changed their life because one person made a decision. One penguin, in this case, made a decision, and it affected an entire community of people. The other book, Launching a Leadership Revolution, and make sure you get this one. Okay, make sure you get this one, Mastering the 5 Levels of Influence. That's the correct book. And although that one's not in print anymore, there's all types of used books out there. You can find them in that marketplace. So Our Iceberg is Melting, Launching a Leadership Revolution. Okay, we're down to it. It's exciting. We're excited. We want everybody to join us. This isn't about us. It's not about me. This is about creating something huge. Dennis sent out a letter the other night, said the start of something big on it. And that is exactly what's happening right now. It's already happened. It is happening. Like Chris said, we already made the decision. So it's not like we're waiting for a decision. The decision is done. It's a matter of who wants to go play. And so we invite everybody to play. We want all of our Royal Diamonds and Diamonds, Royal Ambassadors, and the brand new people, because to get to 3 billion over the next 36 months, a billion in each marketplace, it's going to take a lot of people, and we're going to create a lot of new leaders, which means more Royal Diamonds, more Platinum. Everybody wins if you want, but that's a decision that you make, and you make it right now. Our decision is made. It is done. So 1 billion in each of 3 market areas, North America, Europe, and Mexico, Central, South America. The revolution has begun. We invite you to join us. It is going to be absolutely, and it is, we're having fun with it already. It's absolutely great. And remember, the legacy, you can create a legacy for yourself right now and your teams right now. So it's not about anybody's particular team. It's not about our team or your team. It's about the team. It's about Nikken in this world and really putting it on end, because it's just nice hats. I love that. And so, if somebody wants to buy hats, by the way, the book, these books are available at Focus on Growth. And come on back in, guys. Tony, come on and join us, and as well. And so this is something that we're excited about. It's going to be fun. We're going to work hard, play hard, and it is going to be a blast. The fact is, we're already having fun with it, and we invite everybody to join us, because we're going to create more Nikken millionaires than have ever been done, and we're going to change the health of our world in the process. So, folks, thanks for joining us today. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Send everybody kisses and love, and we'll see you all soon. Bye for now.
Have a great day. Thanks.